And you're back. All right, getting changed. Let's drop the head down and around. And we're going to drop down and around the other way. And do that again, dropping down and around. And back the other way. I'd say I had the best night of sleep with all the race goers last night. Waking up hearing bangs in the street. Let's go wide with our arms. And we're going to point the toes forward and then lift, point the toes and come back in. We'll do that on the other side. So point your toes, lift, point and back in. And again, point, lift, point, down, point, lift, point, down. Can we do that to the side? Point, lift, point, down, point, lift, point, down. Feeling a bit balletic this morning. Can we do that to the back? So point, lift, point, down, and point, lift. On each side. And final one. Okay, great. Let's drop the arms, let them flop and hang loose, and take the feet a bit wider. Soften the knees, let the tailbone hang. Return. Oh, someone's just trying to get in. Keep going. You can rotate and look behind you. Turn, look behind. And you go a little bit further, noticing what can you see behind you. Whoever's just logged in, I can't see you on the video. All I can see is the name iPhone. Helpful if you can put your name on screen, then I know who it is. Wondering if it's Claire. Have you got your slider on? And we're going to sweep down and up and down and up. Oh, it's Sue. Hello, Sue, in the foliage again. And can we come so far down that we bend and just brush the fingertips against the floor? And one more each side. And we're going to swing the leg forwards and then back and do forwards and back. And do the arm in the opposite direction. Oh, coordination. Keep it going. As you do it, can you lengthen your posture? Like someone's pulling you up by a little ballet bum on the top of the head. Okay, the leg on the other side. So swing forwards, swing it back. So get the leg going first. And then we'll aim to get the arm going in the opposite direction. Alrighty, well done. Tippy toes. Can we tightrope walk? Tiptoe one in front of the other. And going back. As you do it, focus on steadying the ankles and welcome the wobble. Let's do it again. Going forwards and rolling the shoulders. So we come up to the ears, squeeze the blades and press down. Up, squeeze and down. And reversing. And opening the feet. And side lean. Reach the fingers. Breathe in. Breathe out. And again, deep breath. you go a little bit further over, lengthening through your top arm and the other way, reaching the fingers. And last one. Alrighty, let's come down onto our backs. Now's a good time to have a drink if you haven't drank much water yet this morning. Breathe in and breathe out. Are you looking for online classes that support you with getting more me time? You want to get supple, strong, feel less stressed, get in the driving seat, but actually, perhaps you've noticed that following videos on YouTube isn't actually helping you commit. It's not like the teacher reaches out and says, correct your hips, bring your knee back, move your posture back. And this is the problem. So, of course, you can hit subscribe to get more from the Zigs YouTube channel. But let's face it, we're not going to send our children to a school without a teacher or a tutor. I mean, what's their life going to be like if they're going to learn in that way? So my name's Claire Louise Freeman. I'm the business owner of Zigs Exercise, and I like to encourage you to join me and my community online, where we get together via Zoom and we practice Pilates conditioning, yoga stretches, mobility. And the thing is, we get to actually talk through this stuff. We get to do it together. And to me, consistently doing it together is the thing that gives us much, much better results than if we're left flailing around in front of a video trying to do it all by ourselves. So if you'd like more information about joining me and others, please reach out, get in touch. You can work with us morning, evening, from the comfort of your own home. It's great because you get all the kit together at home, and it does help you to practice in between as well. So I'm offering a complimentary kickstart call. We can talk through what's getting your time off during holidays. It's the commitment that gets the motivation. So why wait? Book in, give me a call, and I'll see you on the other. What's getting in the way, you know, why it's not worked so far. And sometimes the hardest bit is actually just picking up the phone and talking it through. So brave pants on. I work with all sorts of people from various walks of life, different shapes and sizes. And often people who do work with me do it because they say that I do it in a very non-judgmental way. Of course, it's free to talk, so you can click the link in the description box below and we can get to know each other and see if we're a good fit. There's no pressure here. On the call, I'll listen in to, you know, what you need support with, what your personal needs are, and I can answer any of your questions about our online Pilates and yoga, where we do it together in community. Why wait? This stuff doesn't get any easier as we get older. We work with lots of busy parents, grandparents, business owners, NHS professionals, private school teachers, regular school teachers. So if that feels like you and you need that support and accountability on getting it done, that's the thing. If we've got the sessions booked in regularly, that means we're much more likely to show up. And it's that regularity that people are often missing. You know, definitely felt a bit dehydrated when I woke up at 4 a.m. Banging noises, thinking, what was that? Probably some drunken race goer in my front garden. Okay, let's bring the knees up, tuck, and then tap. Breathe out as you tuck. Breathe in as you tap. Now I'm going to give you 3 different levels to choose from. So do the level that you feel is the right one for you today. So level 1, we'll keep the head on the floor and tuck the knees. Level 2, we're going to roll up and see if we can balance with our feet just off the floor. So they're hovered like this. And then roll. And then hover. And more advanced, we're going to do the legs akimbo version. It is Friday and Gold Cup Day after all. So feet wide, come back in, and then do the roll. Whee. Hopefully I won't wee. been in worse situations with the pelvic floor, I can tell you. Can we do 2 more? And final one. Okay, good job. Let's roll onto our front. Notice my fingers are down here so that the thumb is attached to the ground, but the pinky is waving in the air. And I want you to squeeze your buttock muscles as you lift just your chest off the floor and then hover your arms a little bit so that you're squeezing the shoulders slightly together and then lowering down. So we're going to do one set of cobras like that, where we lift, squeeze, and the arms are hovered off the ground. And then bring your hands so they're just slightly wider than your shoulders, and we'll push the ground away. So we're going to come up and then down, and then go back with the arms down by your side and lift your chest hands free. So you're alternating between those 2 different types of what we'd call back extension moves. Helps to mobilize the muscles and joints in our back. Helps to strengthen those muscles, particularly in the deeper lower back muscles. When I did my later life course when I was working at Cotswold District Council, and actually the cobras was one of the exercises that we looked at kind of from a scientific point of view, and it can be quite a common fracture site as we get older. So doing these exercises really helps to load our bones, ideally with a good diet, of course. Calcium-rich foods, vitamin D. Feel a bit of vitamin D coming in through the window this morning. Happy days, a bit of sunshine. I'm going to do 2 more. Breathing in as we lift. Breathing out as we lower. Alrighty, so from here, can we move into our downward dog? Jean, you can choose a different stretch if it's tricky with the wrist. And we're going to press our heels down, lifting our tailbone in the air. And just notice, what are the calves saying today? Deep breath. And then let's take a walk in with the hands to touch the toes. And uncurl. Coming up to standing. Okay, now's a good time to get some weights. So if you'd like to grab some weights, make sure you're using a weight that challenges you, that sort of by the time you've done a few, you're really feeling it. If you find you're constantly on the same weight, then it's probably good to either practice a little bit more or think about upping the game. Obviously, if we're navigating injury, we need to work on that first. So we're going to hold the weights like plates, bringing our elbows in. And I'd like you to squeeze your shoulder blades. And then move to the middle. Think about your posture, so you're lengthening up through the crown of the head, squeezing your shoulders, and then back in. So you could always use some saucepans maybe from the kitchen if you're away from home. About some little saucepans. Oh, some wine bottles, they'll do. Oh, they're empty though. Need to fill them up with water. That'll probably give you about 0.75 of a kg. We're going to lengthen the arms and add a rise onto tiptoes. Now try and lift your arms without lifting your shoulders. So press your blades down. And let's give that another go. So extending, lifting, but pressing the shoulders down. Try to fully straighten your arms as you move out. Next level, more advanced, we stay out there and add a turn, looking behind and then moving to the middle and releasing. So let's do that again, lengthening out, and we turn, look to the hand behind, move to the middle and come back in. Let's do that twice more. Breathe. And final one. Alrighty, resting off. Holding your weights at your side now. What's Sue got now? Some tins of beans or something. A cup of soup. We're going to roll the shoulders. They're coming up, roll them back. Squeeze your blades. Really focus on opening your chest. And then allow your chest to round and then lift up to the ceiling. So you're sort of looking down and then looking up. And last couple. Taking the feet just slightly wider than the shoulders. We're going to drop the weights down either side of the leg as we find the position of a squat. Thinking about the posture there as we come down. So perhaps bringing a little bit of body weight into our heels. Lengthening up through the crown of the head as we come back up, pushing the bottom back, and then sort of squeezing the buttocks as we push the hips forward. Our next level, adding a fold, so we bend the weight towards the shoulder. If you feel you've got good core activation, your posture set well, adding some reach forwards with the arm. As you do the reach forwards, can you press your shoulders down? Breathe. More advanced, we add some height in the arms, so long as we've got happy neck and shoulders. Softening your shoulder blades down as you do that reach. And we got two more in there. Breathe. So final one. Okay, give your legs a shake. Now's a good time to grab a drink. Getting warm, isn't it? Ooh, quite mild today. Okay, so can you find a stick next? Let's give ourselves some stick. In a loving way, of course. So we're going to park the stick just here, so it's attached to the head and the tailbone. And I want you to use that to monitor your posture. Can you get your bottom hand here into that deeper part of your curve in your back so you can feel your knuckles against your lower back as you take your feet wide, and then this other hand over here I'm going to place against the thigh as we bend into the other knee. Now, can you keep the stick on the head and the tailbone? Come back up, swap the hand behind, bring this hand to the thigh. So keeping the tailbone on the stick as you come down. Feel for the tailbone against the stick as you lower. Do you lose the stick on the tailbone? We'll tend to get a feeling of more stretch if we can maintain the tailbone on the stick there. If you've got that, then start to go lower. We'll focus on technique first and then going for gold or something like that. Can we do two more? Breathe. So final one. And then bringing our feet closer together. And we're going to use our stick to mobilize. You can use a band if the stick feels too much, or you can do it hands free. Now, sometimes when people do this, the head will do this and jut forward when it's tight. You need to try and keep your head on top of your shoulders. And then next level, we're going to go around and reverse. Going around, down, and then reversing. Or your own variation on the theme is fine. Can we do 2 more? And last one. Well done. We're going to leave the stick behind us and turn so that we've got flat foot at the front, but we're balancing on a tiptoe on this back foot and wriggling that away as we move towards lunging. Coming into an upright posture. Now, if you can see yourself in your screen, does your posture, your rib cage kind of look upright? Use your stick to help align head and tailbone against it as we lower down, down, down. Straightening the front leg fully and coming down again. Down. Now the aim is to stretch around the back hip and thigh. Are you feeling it there? Lift it in your rib cage. Inhale, lift. And exhale as you lower down, down. Can you get your top elbow up so that your hand is slid down to the bottom of your neck? We're going to do that one more time, coming up and drop, squaring up the hip bones. We're going to hold this one a little bit longer. Breathe. And let's release and give the legs a shake. I'm going to switch hands and turn around so that we repeat our lunges on the other side. A nice big space between the feet. Can you tuck your tailbone in so you squeeze your bottom from behind to elongate the lower back as we come down, down, down. Breathe. And straighten the front leg. Let's do that again. Keep squaring up the hips. Coming down, down, down. Keep nudging that top elbow up. And straightening the front leg. Coming down. Breathe. And one more time, coming up. And drop. Down, down. We're going to hold this one just a little bit longer. Breathe. And let's straighten out the legs. Give the legs a shake. Now's a good time for another drink. Let's keep ourselves hydrated. Some core work. So let's come down onto the back. I call it core work because it makes you go core. Okay, so let's do some Pilates mat work. We'll start with opposite arm and leg. Pilates single leg stretch. Moving out, moving in. For our level 2 option today, we'll bring the knees like this up at 90 degrees. For our third option, we'll extend the legs, so more advanced with straight legs. Breathe. Flexing the feet and pointing the toes. Can you flex your feet, point your toes as you do it, so that you're getting some good movement and mobility into your feet and toes. Really point your toes quite firmly. I think sometimes with toes, they can just be these things at the end of our legs that kind of get forgotten about, kind of be lost without them. Actually, I went to an Everest talk last weekend and a guy had got frostbite. It was not very pretty. Zach said, "I'd love to climb the mountain, Mummy, but I don't want those black toes." Reminder to look after them. The last couple. And then from here, can you bend one knee, hug it to your chest, and then straighten the other leg. You could bring your leg across, feeling for the floor with your foot, rolling the arm behind, pressing the back shoulder down, pressing the knee down. Now to turn your head so that you look behind that shoulder, reaching the fingers along the floor so the back of the wrist and the shoulder are both pressing down. Breathe. So again, deep breath into your belly, exhaling out. Breathe. Let's release. We're going to do that on the other side. So knee up to your chest, bringing your foot to the floor, trailing the arm behind, pressing your back shoulder down, allowing the head to turn so you look behind that shoulder, pressing the back of the wrist down, breathing into your belly. One more deep breath. Alrighty, from here, if we can roll up, we're going to pop the hands just here underneath the leg and use that to rock ourselves up to seated, straightening the back. Now let's work on some curls, turning the party pack into a six pack or something like that. We're going to tilt the tailbone under, roll the body down, tap the back of the head on the ground, and then elongate through the spine. If it's tricky to get up and down, you could use a strap underneath your feet to help lever your body down and back up. Straightening up through the spine. More advanced, we can add some arms like this over the head. Can you keep your arms by your ears on the way up? You make it a fluid movement. Does it feel a little bit clunky? You know, in clunky times, it was a case of resisting that helped the movement to become more fluid again. As you roll, draw your belly button muscle in to help activate your deeper core. You get a sense of squeezing the belly button in each time you come up, and as you imprint your spine down bone by bone. Could we do two more of those? Eye gaze up towards the ceiling to help align the head, tongue on the roof of the mouth. So on the final one, if you can meet me down here again, locking the fingers together so they're interlaced, and then turning your palms outwards, pointing your toes, arching your back, breathing deeply into your belly. And you get your little fingers to touch the ground as you do it. Breathing into your belly. Alrighty, from here we're going to bend one leg in again, use the hands to pull ourselves up. And then either we can crisscross the legs, so we're in a cross-legged position. If it troubles your knees a bit too much, you can always have your feet out wide. So find what works for you, and we're going to extend the arms up, come forwards and down, tuck the chin in, and then slide the hands back in and reach. Breathing out. Breathing in. You've had quite a busy, hectic week. You're just sort of in that place of needing to shift energy. I want you to imagine you're gathering positive, healthy energy as you come in, and then exhaling out any tension, worries, stresses. So imagine you're gathering in the positive, healthy, attracting the good energy, and exhaling out any tension, worries, or concerns. Reminding ourselves that it's just thoughts and feelings and energy. We have it in our power to shift that. Now, if you're doing the cross-legged version, I'd like you to change legs. So we bring the other one over the top. And let's do it again. So coming up, exhaling out. And as you're attracting that good energy in, you might want to make it quite specific. So you're sort of sat-naving your brain, if you like. So if it's a happy wrist, if it's a better back, a strong hip, whatever it is, working towards a 5K, a 10K, take some time just to visualize attracting that in. Just going to do that one more time. Breathe. And then from there, we come down onto our backs to move into our Pilates shoulder bridge. We're going to turn our palms upwards, tilt the tailbone under, squeeze the buttocks from behind, holding at the top, and then imprinting down bone by bone. Let's do that again. So tucking the tailbone from behind, squeezing through the pelvic floor, squeezing the knees, and then imprinting down bone by bone. And we can either keep going with this version, level 1, or level 2, we're going to float one leg off the ground. Does the hip drop, or can you keep it about the same height as the other one? What happens as you do that on the other side? You might need to push the foot quite firmly down into the floor to help level that. But let's do that again as we come up, pushing the foot that stays on the floor firmly down through the ball of your foot as well as your heel. Noticing where we apply pressure through that foot, that can make a real difference. Now, if you've got the alignment with the hip where we're nice and level, next version, straight leg. And as we lower that leg, can we keep both hips aligned? Giving that a go on the other side. Breathe. We're working through just at your own pace, rolling up and down, in and out of the bridge. Breathe. Aligning the hip. We soften our shoulders. Keep lifted from behind. So there's tension through the buttocks. We're letting go through the neck, arms and hands. Breathe. I'm going to do it twice more. Pushing up through the hips. Softening the shoulders. So final one. Let's bring our knees up to our chest. You reach your arms over to one side like this, and reach your knees over to the other so they drop to the side of you. Turn your head to look over the shoulder of the arm that's on the ground. Reaching your fingers, you're really extending them through the skirting board, at the same time pressing down with the knees, breathing into the belly. So it's an active stretch by sending energy through the fingers, pushing down with the knees and breathing into the belly. And let's lift our knees, open the arms, and then take them over and down to the other side. Pressing your knees towards the floor, reaching into your fingers, pressing down with the knees, and breathing deeply. And again, deep breath. Keep reaching the fingers. It's an active stretch. Keep pressing your top knee down into your bottom knee. Breathe into your belly. Reaching the fingers, pressing down with the knees, and breathe into your belly. Alrighty, let's relax off. Now, can you grab a drink? Now's a good time for some water. We're going to come up to standing for some yoga-based stretching. I need to drink a bit more water. It's getting warmer. Got the whirlies when I stood up. Okay, so let's take our feet wide. And we're going to turn the foot out over on this side and angle the foot in over here. Hoist the pants up, and we're going to drop the hip to one side and then side lean. Move into our triangle pose. So if you can see yourself on your screen, aim to stack your arms one above the other. Sometimes this arm, when it's tight, will sort of pop over here somewhere. Try to extend that arm, pressing the shoulders down and just moving the head back slightly. Chin in, lengthening the back of the neck, and then turning the head, look up towards our top hand. Breathing deeply. Bend into our knee and turn, so we're now on our foot, tiptoe at the back, placing one hand down but lengthening the other arm up like this, so stacking the shoulders again, stacking the arms. Breathing deeply as we reach the fingers of that top hand directly upwards. Bringing your hand back down. And then from here, we're going to turn our toes like this to face forwards. We're now dropping our head down in between our legs and having a little look at the world from a different angle. Breathe and just rock your body weight into your heels. Rock your weight to your toes, back to your heels. Feeling the body weight transferring between your toes and your heels. Notice where it pulls a bit more when you rock back into your heels. And let's move the feet in a little bit. And we're going to turn our toes out on this side. Angle in at 45 over here. Switching the hip as we slide down with our hands, lengthening up with our top arm, pushing the heel away, letting the head drop a little bit, bringing the head back. Breathe. Bending into the knee and turning onto the tiptoe on the back foot as we lower the top arm down and place the hand on the floor, and then turn, lengthening the other arm up to the ceiling, reaching our fingertips directly up as we push the ground away quite firmly with the bottom hand. Press the shoulders down. Breathing deeply. And let's release. We're going to take a walk again towards the middle, taking our feet wide, walking our hands and rocking again from the toes to the heel. Feeling where we get that increase of stretch when we rock back into the heel. Breathe. And can you pop your bottom down on the floor? So we've now got our feet wide like this. Change the view. Pointing the toes, lifting the chest, leaning, bringing the arm over by the ear. You drop your head down towards your knee so you feel a good stretch. Pointing your toes. And as you lean, again, feeling for that stretch, allow your head to drop to increase the stretch. Pointing the toes, lifting the rib cage. Started calling the rib cage the digital rib cage for some of the new people that I'm seeing at the moment. It's amazing how blocked people's rib cage movement patterns are that I'm seeing a lot more of since the pandemic. Interesting stuff. Good to get it moving. If we're going on to more advanced now, we're going to bring this top arm over and bring the head down to the knee. Breathe. Going that little bit further. Last couple. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lean. Alrighty, if we can give our legs a bit of a shake out. I'd like you to find a stick. So we're going to use our stick to monitor our posture as we move into doing some Pilates oysters. So if we can bring our knees in front, we're going to take our stick behind. It's attached to the head, the shoulders, and the tailbone. And allow your head to rest on your bottom arm, but have that elbow pulled back a bit. It's a little bit of a stretch for that tricep there. We're going to lift the waistline slightly. So think of your belly sort of lifting away from the ground so that we're active in those muscles at the side of the core as we roll the knee back. Feet, notice, are quite close together. And we're going to flex our feet as we hover the top knee. We're not going to drop it. That's it. So we point the toes as we open and then hover and flatten the feet so they're flexed. Pointy toes as we open. Flexing the feet as we close. Now I want you to take your top knee back to the point where you can feel your buttock muscle really kicking in. If you're not quite feeling it, often the top hip is wandering without realizing. So try to keep your top hip really still. If it helps, you could park a hand there and just feel, does it move back as you open your knee? Now, if you can keep it nice and steady, we'll start to add in reach, lower, and then back in. So we open the knee, reach the toes. Can you get them up towards the ceiling or thereabouts? Do they point to the wall when you open? That can be useful as a sort of guide of what our mobility is like around our hip. And last one. Alrighty, so give that a stretch in a sec. Let's come and do that on the other side. So we want our head, our shoulders, our tailbone against our stick. Knees in front of the hips, feet forward slightly, and let your head relax down onto that arm. Picking up the waistline so that the core is active as we lift and lower the leg. Keeping lifted in the waist as we point the toes, press back with that top knee to squeeze the buttock and then come back down. So you might like to think of pressing back in 3. 1, 2, squeeze and then down. Again, point your toes. 1, 2, squeeze and hover, don't drop the leg. You want to keep that load around the muscles and the buttock and the side of the hip. Feeling for what that top hip is doing. Is it staying steady? If we've got that steadiness, adding the reach, are we on the ceiling or are we on the wall? Coming back in. Rolling the knee back, reaching the toes, down and back in. Breathe. And we do 2 more. We'll give our glutes a stretch. So final one. Alrighty, good job. Let's roll to our backs. And if you can place your right ankle bone on top of your left thigh, or the other side will do. And then hands underneath the back of the foot. Pull in with your hands, but use your elbow to push out so that you instigate some stretch there. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to score your effort level. 10 being, I could not go any further. 0 being no effort at all. So aiming for about 6, 7. Pressing the elbow into the thigh as you pull in with your hands. Breathe. Feels good to stretch. Let's interlock the fingers around the front of the shin, using the elbow to push out. Breathe. And let's release. We give that a go on the other side. So left over right. Feel for the ankle bone, because sometimes it's easy to not quite get that crossover. So hands coming around the back of the thigh, and use the elbow to push out knee as you pull in with the hands. Again, I'd like you to score your effort level, scale of 1 to 10. We aim for 6, 7, breathe. Lengthening the back of the neck, chin in, breathe. Interlocking the fingers around the front of the shin. Breathe. And then I'd like you to rock up to a seated position, bringing the hands just here around the back of the head. And just dropping the chin down, but keep your spine lengthened. So applying a little bit of pressure there, just at the back of the head with the fingers. Breathing deeply. Let's release and come down to your back. Placing your hands just here on top of your belly. And just giving yourself a sort of virtual pat on the back that we've shown up. We've got it done today. Done something positive with our body to help our mobility and flexibility and core strength and stamina. Taking a moment to appreciate how many habits of showing up and committing to this practice ultimately influences our ability to function each day and to maintain our independence and our quality of life. Relaxing your shoulders down into the ground. You need to visualize a light moving from the top of your head, almost like a slow photocopier, scanning a beam of light from the top of your head down through all the little muscles in your face, visualizing those little muscles softening, relaxing, smiling, easing any tension from around the jaw, from the neck. Imagine that light scanning through the body, through all the little cells around the throat, the chest, the organs, the heart, the liver, the digestive system, moving down through the body, scanning the pelvis, intestines, the hip bones, the joints of the lower back. Coming down through the thighs and the muscles, the bones, the knees, calves, shins, ankles, scanning down through the feet. Relax down more deeply. Moment to perhaps ask your body what it needs right now. What does your body need to nourish energy? Listening to the answer that comes back. I'd like you to give your toes a little wriggle around, wiggling your toes. Straightening your legs. I'd like you to circle from your ankle. So you're circling your feet around and then reversing the circle in the foot back in the opposite direction. So it's wakey wakey time. You can open your eyes. We're going to roll over to the side. And if you can, take a little stretch for your neck in a seated position. So we drop the head with the hand just here by the ear. Let it drop to one side. Allow the hand to be quite heavy against the head. Breathe into the stretch. And let's release. Drop the head over to the other side. So again, let the hand sort of flop and go heavy against the head. The head give in to gravity. Just release. I hope that's made a difference to the start of your weekend. I'd like to take a moment to hit your unmute for me. Let's have a chat and a check-in.